Hello friends of the electrified charging fauna and welcome to Electrified Speicher, your channel all around Škoda's e-mobility. My name is Matthias and it's time for community news. This is May 2025 episode and we talk a bit about the order start of the ELROQ RS as well as delivery times of the ENYAQ and the ELROQ. We look quickly to the ELROQ 85 and the change of battery to the 135 kilowatts max charging power compared to the 175 kilowatts. Then we talk about the new MySkoda App version 8.2. And I've got some products from a company named Rati. They also produce a Frunk for ELROQ and ENYAQ and way more stuff as always with the community news. And if you're interested in that, well, stay tuned. Starting now, the ELROQ RS version is available to order in certain selected markets, for example in the UK. And it starts at a whopping £46,000 and it tops out at £50,000. So there is a lot of equipment in the standard version. You can't buy a lot of additional equipment, yet this is a lot of money for a car like an ELROQ, but you get a lot of stuff in return. And if you lean towards the more sporty side of EV driving, the only other option when you want an ELROQ is an ELROQ 85 Sportline, which starts only £1,000 less at £45,000 and tops out at £48,000. Yet you don't get all-wheel drive in that Sportline. This is the only way to get all-wheel drive is the RS as of now, until the 85X will hit the market. And you don't get that amount of power like you have in the RS with the Sportline, and of course not the bigger battery. So yes, I'm thinking this car is worth its money if you want the premium top model that Škoda has to offer within the ELROQ. And I would assume if you order one now, you will not get it before the end of autumn. There will be a longer delivering time, and as of now I'm not even sure if they started building them in Mladá Boleslav. And if you now think about what about the ENYAQ RS model, well, very soon we will know more about this car and now how it looks. As I already showed in two very detailed videos, the differences between the 77 kilowatts battery with 135 kilowatts maximum charging power and the one with 175 kilowatt maximum charging power, this also belongs into my news video, because starting at calendar week 24, the ELROQ 85 will have that battery switched. And instead of the 175 kilowatts maximum charging power battery, the ELROQ will be delivered with a 135 kilowatts maximum charging power battery. Technically, it is still the 77 kilowatt hour battery, and it's the same one they built since start of production into the ENYAQ 85. And customers who ordered a car with a 175 kilowatts battery, which cannot be produced anymore and delivered with that battery, will be informed by their dealership, and so they know what will happen. And some would say this battery is worse than the other, yet I don't think so. If you really want to know more about that, please have a look at my two videos about this topic where you get every little detail to make a conclusion on your own. Some of you might know them. Those plastic inserts from different manufacturers which basically simulate a Frunk in your ENYAQ or ELROQ. This one is the well-known one from Austria, from Frunk AT, but this only matches the ENYAQ pre-facelift and not the ENYAQ facelift and not the ELROQ. I know that this manufacturer is working on a new model for the facelift ENYAQ and for the ELROQ, but as of now you can only get this one for the older ENYAQ. And there is EV Accessories Ireland who offer this Frunk or this insert in a different shape, yet they offer it for every ENYAQ and every ELROQ. And they are quite large and you can fit some stuff in it. But now I found a third manufacturer who also came up with a Frunk. And this is Rati. This is this one here. And yes, you might already notice that this is not a very large piece of plastic. I'll show you. It's like this. And if you do some measures here, well, we talk about 40 to 53 centimeters and in height Yes, at the end it's 10 centimeters. So it's a rather small one. You can remove this cover here, just to show you, and it looks like this. Well, the idea of this one is not to fit a lot of stuff in, but your Type 2 charging cable. And therefore the big benefit of this little one is it's way cheaper than every other Frunk from EV Accessories or from Frunk AT. It costs sometimes below 100 euros. Now let's look how we can fit this into this ENYAQ. And by the way, this one fits every ELROQ and every ENYAQ, no matter if facelifted or not. Therefore, let's first remove this one here from Austria. And one of its biggest benefits, other than the size, is that you simply clip it in. And you can remove it quite easily. And the biggest deficit of this one here from Rati, you can see it already here, the material to mount it, is that you have to screw it here to these mounting points. And that's the reason why I don't do it. I'll show you in the instruction. Here you go. You have to remove these two screws, put some stuff on it, and then put the screws back, and you'll mount it on those parts you put in, on those pins. And the thing I don't like is if I have to remove screws, for example here, which mount this bar to one of the essential parts of the car. I bet it's not a problem, but I do not like to do something like this. I prefer solutions like the one simply to clip. But nevertheless, I show you how this one would work if you mount it, because it fits perfectly in here like this. And yeah, it works. I'll show you in a second. Here is the Type 2 charging cable, which Škoda delivers with every car. And of course now it's not mounted, therefore it can slide, but it would be perfectly fitted. And you see, it fits quite nice. And of course you can put the cover back on. I have to improvise a bit because I didn't mount the insert. There you go. And you have a perfect fit. So it's not the best solution when it comes to mounting, but it's a good solution if you simply want to store your Type 2 charging cable, especially when you've got an ELROQ. Because with the ELROQ, where the charging cable is stored below the cover of your boot, well, this might be the much better solution. So if you want to check it out, or if you're interested, you find an affiliate link down in the video description. Yes, it's an affiliate link, so I earn a bit of money if you would buy, and for you the price won't change. When I asked Rati about giving that Frunk or that insert to me, which they did free of charge to just do the disclosure here, so I didn't pay for all these products, well, they sent a couple of more from their lineup. And to be honest, those additional products I like way more than this insert, because I don't like how it is mounted. For example, this little basket here, this chopping basket, nothing fancy about it, a standard basket, a bit heavier than normal. In size you go with 30 to 44 to 21 centimeters, but the magic happens with this socket here. This socket is really useful as it sticks to your floor. No matter if you've got this floor or you have a rather smooth mat put in it, so a dirt mat or something, and this keeps the basket absolutely stable and safe in place. I tried it out because my wife and I, we always go shopping with baskets. We don't like those bags you get. And here it definitely doesn't fall over, because sometimes with our other baskets, I forget the cargo elements to put them to the side, and then they simply throw all our groceries into the boot. With this, it doesn't happen. And the other thing is, it fits neatly besides our dog box. And another thing they sent me were those called nukes. This is something like our cargo element, yet with a different style. And this one, as you can see, you can't fold it, which is one of the biggest benefits of this one. Yet, this little holder has a Velcro, which is kind of nice. But the biggest benefit is the other side here with this rubbery piece, because this also is very, very sticky and will work on smooth surfaces like a dirt mat or something else. They come in different colors, and you can use them to fix stuff in your boot. And they are a nice addition, like you see here, to the cargo element. And the hole here,
Well, this is for bottles. You can fit bottles in here and secure them also when you don't have anything else to secure them.
For every ENYAQ of the first generation with software version 3.x, there is a new app available which comes directly from Škoda and shows you the battery temperature. And of course this is not preheating, and I'm still fighting for preheating, and I'm still thinking that Škoda owes you the preheating in those cars. Yet I already made a video about that, so if you want to know the details, just look that video. But this app for me is more about customer centricity and listening to the customers, as they did here. In September 2024, we went to Mlada Boleslav, a couple of ENYAQ drivers, and told them this, at least if they can't bring preheating, would be beneficial. And 7 months later, Škoda deployed that app to your car. And therefore you now know the temperature of the battery and what to expect from a fast charger. And maybe you can start driving a bit faster to heat the battery, or to do some regeneration, acceleration maneuvers to heat the battery a bit up. And for me, this is the first step in improving older cars, and this is great that Škoda did this. And if you now ask, why is this not available in my ELROQ or ENYAQ with software version 4 or 5? Well, you've got preheating. You don't need that really. And who knows what Škoda is up to with that app? Maybe they will put on even more data or build a complete different version of this and then deploy it to all cars, that everyone has a benefit out of this. For me, this is a first and really good move, and if you want to know more about this, then watch the respective video on my channel. It hasn't been long that Škoda released the MyŠkoda app version 8.1, and I did a video about that, so if you're interested in that, just look at that video. And right now, the next version is there, 8.2, available in your App Store, and it got some new improvements. And let's talk a bit about those improvements. And the first one was done to the charging history. You can now also filter by date. And as you see, I did that interview with their product manager of the app. They kept their word and started improving the functionality of the charging history. But this is only a little part. The next one is a bigger one, the Škoda Adventurer function. It is an AI-supported route planner. This is completely new in your map in your MyŠkoda app. And the aim is not to simply drive from A to B, but to experience something along the way. And this is quite in line with Škoda's motto of an everyday explorer, I guess. I tried that out. You can see it here on the screen. You can select your preferences, like for example, where do you want to eat something? Do you want some sportive experiences or some leisure or whatever? Then you can set a budget. You can even set with whom you are traveling so that the experiences are more suited if you travel with a dog or something like this. And to be honest, it works surprisingly well. You get quite nice offers along the route. It remains to be seen whether you want to do something like that, but the suggestions are pretty accurate here. And don't get me wrong, this is only in the app, it's not in your car. You can't do that planning in your car as of now. And the next step, from my perspective, would be to put the Offers app in combination with this route planning and offer you discounts at the suggested locations if you want. So you have an even bigger benefit. And this made me think about how we travel, because normally we are trained to travel the fastest way possible from A to B. Everything is focused on that. That's why we have that debate around charging speed and range. But sometimes we should maybe think about that the journey itself is part of our destination. We are not always in that hurry. We do not always do business travels. Maybe sometimes we should think about ourselves taking a bit of time while traveling and experience something along the route to just slow down that fast-paced life a bit. And this is completely independent from your drivetrain technology. The MySkoda Club has been revised, at least a little. It has been given new icons. They look a bit more fancy and a bit more nice than before. I like the new icons, but, well, that was all I found there. And by chance, if you do not know the MySkoda Club, you can find it under Profile. You can register yourself there, and then you can collect points, which you can redeem for rewards in their shop. You do this by doing challenges or tasks. That works quite well. The tasks are not that much hard, so they're rather easy and kind of funny. You can, for example, learn to drive a bit more efficient. You can also collect those badges or achievements where they had new icons right now. And, well, this is just for showing off, I guess, in front of your friends. So if you enjoy this sort of thing, you might want to register. And if you want to try it out and still look for a recommendation code, well, here is mine if you want to use it. It's N261WPDL. I show you down here. And as far as I know, if you use that code, you get 25 points granted, and me as well. And yeah, by chance, if you like stuff like that, just try it out. Now let's head over to the tab of the status of the car, and within the car's details, which got improved, well, now you have fancy images of your car you are driving. Well, that's not the point here. There is a new entry in that list, and that is called Car Software, where you can see not only the current version, but if there's an update for you available or not, as you can see here in my screen, where it says that there will be an update soon. And if you tap on it, you get a version history. Well, or not. In my example here it didn't work, but as soon as it will work, you will see what you get there. And this was something the community, you and I asked so long for. So I see the improvement here, and I guess this is also due to the community, to us here asking about it. And we stay within the status tab because there is a new entry, driving score. Driving score is something which shows you how well the car or Škoda thinks you are driving. Yes, you heard that right. There are 6 categories they judge you in. And if you look at my category, there is one we should discuss about, and that is the speed limit category. First off, you can see how much data the car collects of you and transfers to their servers, as they can do those calculations. They know everything, how you brake, how you accelerate, how efficient you drive, and even how often you exceed the speed limit. And this is where it gets critical, because we should look at my speed score now. You might think I'm a notorious speeder. I showed this to my wife the other day, and she could hardly contain her laughter, because if anyone stoically sticks to the speed limit, well, here is the guy who does it. But what's going on here? Well, what's going on here is road sign recognition combined with map data. The car can only measure whether you are speeding or not based on the recognized or known speed of the car. And if detection goes wrong, well, you are driving too fast. And I brought you here 3 very, very great examples for that, which I also always show Škoda and tell them, hey, you've got to improve that. First one, the motorway is already signaled, so it's 120. But the slip road remains 60 for my car until I hit the highway. And you have to accelerate there because you can't go on the highway otherwise. Or here the next one. This is the exit of my town, and after the 50 is no longer, it's 80 here in Switzerland. But my car says 60. There is no 60 sign whatsoever nearby. Wrong map data. And here's the classic one. Well, road works without an explicit cancellation of the speed limit. The person who's driving the car perfectly understands what that means. It only applies to the slip road. The 80 is only whilst driving onto the highway. Whilst on the highway there was no signalization, so there still is 120. But MyENYAQ thinks, well, for the next 5 minutes there should be 80, until some other data tells them it's 120. And that's why Škoda should better check what databases they are used for such statistics, otherwise the data is not correct. And while in that case it might be simply funny or annoying, it starts to get really critical if at a point an insurance ask you for that data, or otherwise you don't get insurance, like they sometimes even do with black boxes in your car. And therefore Škoda should definitely rework on that, or even better, start improving map data and road sign recognition. On my own behalf, I would briefly address my How to Škoda EV series again. Yes, after this video, after these community news, it will start out on this channel. 8 episodes, rather short and full with hands-on practical information for everyone who is starting out their adventure in the electric driving with a Škoda, who is switching over from another brand to a Škoda Electro and starts to venture out. And in the first part of this series we will simply just start driving off and having fun, and in the second part we will talk about all the assistance systems and how to configure them, to switch over to the third part where we talk about how to configure the infotainment to your delight. In the fourth episode we talk about charging, from the wall box over slow charging up to fast charging and everything which belongs to this topic. To talk in the fifth episode about how to drive an EV efficiently, and then we switch over in the sixth episode to the route planning and the navigation. Only to talk in the seventh version with Laura, our voice assistant, instead of tapping with our fingers on the display, and we finish that series with the last episode, number 8, where it is all about parking your car and the assistance systems belonging to that. There will be a bonus on 9th episode, but it comes after all of those, where I collect all your questions and everything we learned along the way, maybe mistakes I did, and there will be a question and answer section in that. And these videos are fully packed with all my experience and knowledge from over 4 years driving MEB platform cars, so ENYAQs and ELROQs and everything what belongs to this. And you do not get every detailed information, so to keep the video short, but it should give you a great start as an everyday explorer to get to know your car. And I'm really looking forward to this series. I put a lot of effort and a lot of personal joy into that video, and I hope you will enjoy them too. And if you enjoyed that video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out any How to Škoda EV video. And I hope we see each other in one of those videos, and until then, stay full of energy.